So you don't know, but I'm about to use you all as guinea pigs. I'm going to be giving a speech as part of a contest for Toastmasters, and I should probably write a speech before I do a contest on it. And you're getting kind of a rough draft. It's more like throwing a bunch of eggs into a pan, frying them, and throwing them on a wall and seeing if they make a cool pattern. So if this comes out really weird and not very good, that's why. Yeah, I'm going to just drop a ton of shit all over the place.
Yeah.
Why read poetry? If the art of living is an actual art like painting or sculpting is, then at the end of it you'd have some product, some final bit of art that you could put in a simple wooden frame and display, and everyone could come by and they could see that art and they could go, wow, that's amazing. Look at the colors. Look at the negative space. Look at the emotion of it. But what if the art of living was really like art? What if, in your final viewing, your body in a simple wooden frame, people would come by and look at you and say, look at that brave decision that they made. Look at all the loneliness that grew into friendships and love. Look at all of the things that they have done in their lives. Look at this final piece of art that now lies before us. This is one of the things that poetry can do, is it can reframe the world that you know and change how you view things. One of the other things it can do, one of the other things poetry can do for you, is it can show you other ways of looking at the world, maybe surprising ways. There's a poet here in the Twin Cities named Shane Hawley, and Shane Hawley has a poem called Punching a Baby Deer in the Face. And in one line of his poem, he says, there I am, 18 inches away from a baby deer, which makes sense because in my outstretched hand, I have a whole batch of oatmeal. And I can see it's cute because I have a soul. But there's some part of me this close to something beautiful that just wants to pop it in the face. This is what being an addict is like. Being this close to something beautiful and having the urge to destroy it. Emily Dickinson, in her poem that when I actually do this thing will be, had a poem, I measure every grief I meet, says, I measure every grief I meet with narrow, probing eyes. I wonder if it weighs like mine or has an easier size. None of these things are things that are necessarily alien to us. We've done that before in conversations, or we know people who've done that, where we say, oh yeah, my life sucks. I did this thing the other day and it really turned out bad, and somebody's like, oh, that's nothing. Let me tell you what I have. We have this tendency within ourselves, and one of the things poetry does is give you this empathy for others. Maya Angelou was born from people who had just been slaves a while earlier. I believe that's true. And she has a poem called Still I Rise. And she invites us to see through her eyes when she says, out of history's shame, I rise. Up from the past that's rooted in pain, I rise. I'm a black ocean leaping and wide. Welling and swelling, I bear the tide. Leaving behind nights of terror and fear, I rise. Or Kari Jackson, another local poet, who says, we black folk are known for our children's names. They're designed to be remembered. It's as if somewhere within we've already seen the day that our son goes to a party, to a grocery store, and fails to come back. It's as if we've already seen the bullet, the knife, the taser. We already know the murder will not have been just, and that all too soon the nation will be crying to the heavens with your child's name. Osame, Travaris, Trayvon, Ramarley. A poem is an invitation to see above, beyond yourself. It's an attempt to get you to wake the fuck up, and a chance for you to break the normal, the bland mundanity that controls your life. When Warsan Shire writes about love, it's a call to you to maybe do the same. And she says, he says that you are blinding him, that he could never leave you, forget you, want anything but you. You dizzy him. You are unbearable. Every woman before you or after you is doused in your name. You fill his mouth, his teeth ache with the memory of your taste. Poetry invites you to try harder. Poetry tells you that you might be animal, but you are also a human. You are a soul trapped in animal flesh. And that sometimes you need to remember that that's okay. That you're allowed to be alive, that you're allowed to be flesh, that you're allowed to want, but that maybe you shouldn't take yourself too seriously. As he says in the great poem Ozymandias, "My name is Ozymandias, King of Kings. Look upon my works, ye mighty, in despair." Nothing beside remains round the decay of that colossal wreck, boundless and bare, the lone and level sands stretch far away. Poetry is an invitation to live your soul, crying for justice, wondering what the world is like, wondering who God is, wondering what you're supposed to do with your life. You are an animal, living, loving, feeling sad, being jealous, being petty. Poetry is an attempt to talk about the tension that exists between these two places that are every human being's nature, the animal and the spirit. Thank you.